Welcome back to the channel, football fans. The 2025 NFL Draft has concluded, and it's time to break down every team's performance. From surprising picks to unexpected falls, we've got it all covered. So grab your favorite snack, sit back, and let's dive into the winners, losers, steals, and sleepers of this year's draft. This year's draft was filled with surprises. Miami's Cam Ward was the first overall pick, but the real shocker was Shedeur Sanders, who, despite being a top-rated quarterback, fell to the fifth round. Let's explore how each team fared, starting with the Arizona Cardinals. They earned an A grade. Their first-round pick, defensive tackle Walter Nolan, is expected to bolster their defensive line immediately. The Cardinals' defensive strategies have often been a key to their success, and Nolan's presence will be vital in combating the NFC West's explosive offenses. Cornerback Will Johnson adds depth to their secondary, making this a solid draft class. Nolan brings size and agility to the front line, creating more pressure on quarterbacks and enhancing the Cardinals' pass rush. Looking at the rest of the class, they picked up some promising younger players in later rounds, which gives the team great potential for the future. Next, the Atlanta Falcons. With a B grade, they focused on strengthening their pass rush by selecting Jalon Walker and James Pierce Jr. While Pierce's selection was a bit of a reach, the Falcons addressed a critical need with both players. The Falcons' pass defense has long been one of their weak points, and they were hoping to find solid contributors on the defensive line and secondary. While Walker is seen as a high-ceiling talent, there are questions about how soon he can make an impact at the NFL level. However, the potential is there for Walker to emerge as a top defensive playmaker. The Baltimore Ravens received an A-grade. Safety Malaki Starks and edge rusher Mike Green are expected to make an immediate impact, enhancing the Ravens' already formidable defense. Baltimore's defense has been among the league's best for years, but with the changes in offensive strategies around the league, they needed to keep up with the evolving game. Stark is an exceptional safety prospect who offers tremendous coverage skills. Green, a versatile rusher, will add to the Ravens' ability to pressure opposing quarterbacks. The Buffalo Bills had a solid draft, addressing key areas of need. After coming up short in the playoffs, Buffalo used their picks wisely to strengthen their roster. The team targeted offensive line depth and defensive upgrades. The Bills' future is built around quarterback Josh Allen, so ensuring he has protection and that the defense can sustain pressure will be key to their championship aspirations. The Carolina Panthers made an interesting set of selections to bolster their offensive line and defense. They focused on long-term growth, bringing in some versatile and hardworking players to fill essential roles. Their first-round pick received mixed reviews, but the overall draft strategy was focused on improving depth, especially around their quarterback and wide receiver core. The Chicago Bears focused on surrounding quarterback Caleb Williams with talent, aiming to accelerate his development and success. Williams is a talented quarterback who, with the right protection and playmakers, can evolve into a franchise QB. Chicago invested heavily in their offensive line and wide receiver spots, which should give Williams a better chance to thrive. The Cincinnati Bengals addressed depth and potential with their selections. They also aimed to ensure they can continue competing with the elite AFC teams. Adding reinforcements to their defense and offensive line was crucial. The Bengals are a strong contender in the AFC, but they knew they needed to continue improving to stay competitive. Their draft class provided a mix of immediate impact players and developmental talent. The Cleveland Browns made headlines by selecting quarterbacks Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. While some questioned the decision, it adds intrigue to their quarterback room. With Baker Mayfield's future uncertain, the Browns are keeping their options open. Sanders' fall to the fifth round was one of the biggest stories of the draft. Despite being considered a top-tier prospect, he slipped, possibly due to off-field concerns. Aubrey Gabriel, on the other hand, brings experience and a different style of play, providing a solid backup plan. The Dallas Cowboys had a solid draft, addressing key areas of need with defensive upgrades and skill position depth. Their approach to the draft focused on getting impactful players who can immediately step in and contribute. Dallas also continued to focus on making the defense even more formidable, an area that has been a hallmark of the team's success in recent years. The Denver Broncos made several strategic selections to improve both sides of the ball. They saw depth and potential with these picks, particularly in the defensive backfield and at linebacker. Denver needed to address some of the issues that plagued them in 2025, and the draft helped lay the foundation for that. The Detroit Lions are another team that made solid picks across multiple rounds. Their draft strategy reflected their growing strength, and their selections of defensive and offensive players were aimed at making the team more well-rounded. The Lions are a team on the rise, and this draft class could be crucial in helping them push forward. The Green Bay Packers used this draft to add depth to their roster, particularly focusing on defensive and special teams players. The Packers are always a team that values their draft selections, and they did well this year by picking players who fit into their system. The Houston Texans focused on filling gaps in their roster, particularly on defense. They made a clear effort to improve their defensive line and secondary, recognizing that their chances of success would depend on their ability to compete defensively in the high-powered AFC South. The Indianapolis Colts draft was marked by their focus on future growth. They prioritized offensive weapons for their quarterback and made several selections on the defensive line, and their picks showed that they are focusing on long-term development, with an eye on their quarterback's evolution and the team's overall future competitiveness. The Jacksonville Jaguars made a bold move by trading up to select Travis Hunter. Hunter, a two-way player, could redefine positional roles in the NFL. The Jaguars believe that Hunter can thrive both as a wide receiver and cornerback, adding versatility to their already talented roster. This was one of the most intriguing picks of the draft and could change the way teams look at player versatility. The Kansas City Chiefs made solid additions to their roster with defensive picks that can help them maintain their dominance in the AFC. They were focused on finding impact players who could contribute immediately, and the draft picks added crucial depth to their team. The Las Vegas Raiders draft was marked by their focus on improving their defense, especially in the secondary and pass rush. The team's picks showed that they were prioritizing the protection of their quarterback and defensive upgrades. The Los Angeles Chargers added key players who can help both sides of the ball. Their draft class focuses on adding depth to their defense and improving their offensive playmakers, which will be essential for their pursuit of a deep playoff run. The Los Angeles Rams continued their focus on rebuilding, aiming to develop their young players and improve areas of weakness. This draft will play a key role in their future success, especially considering the team's fluctuating performance over the last few seasons. The Miami Dolphins made several key picks to strengthen their roster, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Their selections are aimed at helping them remain competitive in the AFC East and push for a deep playoff run. The Minnesota Vikings had a mixed draft. While they made some good picks, there were a few questionable selections. However, overall, the team addressed areas that needed improvement and added depth to their roster. The New England Patriots were strategic in selecting players who can contribute immediately. Their draft focused on defensive upgrades and developing younger talent for the future. The Patriots have historically done well with their draft picks, and this year was no different. The New Orleans Saints focused on improving both their offense and defense. Their picks reflected a mix of win-now and long-term strategies, with an emphasis on adding depth in key areas. The New York Giants made a strong selection by drafting defensive standout Abdul Carter. This pick will help their defense remain one of the most feared in the NFC. The New York Jets had a strong draft, adding depth and potential to their roster. The team is building for the future, and these selections could pay off in the years to come. The Philadelphia Eagles were once again one of the draft's most successful teams. They added players who could immediately contribute to their already strong roster, ensuring they will continue to be a top contender. The Pittsburgh Steelers made selections that focus on depth and building future success. The team addressed both sides of the ball with impactful picks, ensuring their roster is ready for the upcoming season. The San Francisco 49ers had a challenging draft this year, but their selections added to their roster's depth. While some players may take time to develop, the 49ers remain one of the top teams in the NFC. The Seattle Seahawks added several promising players to their roster, focusing on depth and filling critical gaps. With these selections, Seattle is well positioned for future success. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers made strategic picks to bolster their roster, aiming to strengthen their competitiveness in the NFC South. The Tennessee Titans addressed key areas of need with their draft selections, particularly improving their defense and offensive line. The Washington Commanders focused on developing talent and adding depth across the roster. Their picks were aimed at building a competitive future. One of the most talked about stories was Shedeur Sanders' unexpected fall to the 5th round. Despite being a top-rated quarterback, concerns about his combine interviews and perceived attitude led to his slide. The Cleveland Browns took a chance on him, adding intrigue to their quarterback room, alongside Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco. This year's draft showcased a shift in team strategies. The Jacksonville Jaguars' bold move to select Travis Hunter reflects a trend towards valuing versatile players. Meanwhile, the overall low number of quarterbacks selected indicates a change in how teams assess the position's value. That wraps up our comprehensive breakdown of the 2025 NFL Draft. From standout selections to unexpected falls, this draft has set the stage for an exciting NFL season. What do you think? Did your team make the right picks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analysis.